A 63-year-old grandmother came to Las Vegas to visit a friend. On August 8, she walked out of his apartment to make what should have been a simple trip to a nearby CVS. She never came back. 2 days later, her family reported her missing. But then something happened that made this disappearance even more disturbing. Her phone started sending messages. Messages asking for money. Messages asking for gas. And eventually, Bitcoin. But there was one problem. Alisa Goods doesn't drive. So why was someone using her phone to ask her family for gas money? Was Alisa still holding the phone? Had someone else taken it? Or was the person sending those messages trying to make her family believe she was still communicating? Tonight, we're looking at the disappearance of Alisa Goods, a grandmother of 5 who vanished in Las Vegas, leaving her family with one terrifying question: where is Alisa? Alisa Goods is 63 years old and lives in New York. She is a mother. A grandmother of 5. And according to her family, she is the kind of person people naturally gravitate toward. Her niece described her as warm, loving and full of life. This wasn't someone her family expected to simply disappear. Alisa had traveled to Las Vegas to visit a longtime friend. According to her family, this wasn't an unusual trip for her. She had visited Las Vegas before. She knew the area. She was staying with a friend she had known for years. Nothing about the trip appeared to suggest that Alisa was planning to disappear. And that's what makes what happened next so difficult for her family to understand. It was August 8, 2026. Alisa was staying at her friend's apartment in the Las Vegas area, near South Maryland Parkway and Tropicana Avenue. Around 12:45 in the afternoon, according to her friend, Alisa left the apartment. She was reportedly heading to a nearby CVS. The reason was simple. She wanted to pick up items including iron pills or supplements. She was expected to return. But she didn't. Her friend initially wasn't necessarily expecting the worst. According to reports, Alisa could sometimes spend several hours out shopping. But as more time passed, she still didn't come back. Calls weren't getting a normal response. Messages weren't producing answers. And eventually, the family was alerted. The trip to a nearby store had turned into something much more serious. Alisa Goods was missing. Alisa was officially reported missing on August 10. That means the family was already facing a critical problem. They had to work backward. Where had Alisa gone? Had she actually reached the CVS? Had she taken the bus? Had she walked somewhere else? Had someone seen her after she left the apartment? And most importantly, where was her phone? Her family began trying to find answers. Hospitals were checked. Jails were checked. The coroner's office was contacted. Alisa's daughter, Kristen Goods, eventually traveled from New Jersey to Las Vegas to help search for her mother herself. The family wasn't simply waiting for investigators. They were looking for Alisa wherever they could. Then the phone started talking. And then came August 12. For days after Alisa was last seen. Her family says messages suddenly began coming from Alisa's phone. At first, this might have sounded like good news. Because if Alisa was texting, maybe she was alive. Maybe she had gotten lost. Maybe something had happened and she needed help. But when the family read the messages, something didn't feel right. The messages reportedly asked for help and money. Then came requests involving gas money. And eventually, Bitcoin. Alisa's family immediately noticed something strange. Alisa doesn't drive. So why would she suddenly need gas money? Her niece reportedly questioned the request because there was no car for Alisa to use. That single detail changed how the family looked at those messages. They couldn't be certain who was behind the phone. Was it Alisa? Was somebody else using it? Had someone found or taken the phone? The messages raised questions, but they did not prove what had happened to Alisa. Then, according to Alisa's family, something even more disturbing happened. Her niece Alana Calloway said she called Alisa's phone. Someone answered. But there was no conversation. The person on the other end didn't explain where Alisa was. The call ended. Later, the family said messages continued coming from the phone. Alana reportedly challenged the person to prove they were Alisa. She asked for a video call. But instead of providing a clear answer, the messages reportedly returned to the demand for money. The family was now trapped in a nightmare. They had Alisa's phone. They had messages. They had someone apparently communicating through that phone. But they still didn't have Alisa. But as the days passed, Alisa's family ran out of places to look. They checked hospitals. They checked jails. They even contacted the coroner's office. Still nothing. Alisa was nowhere. And then came another development. According to the latest reporting, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police are actively investigating the disappearance and searching within roughly a 20-mile radius of where Alisa was last known to be. Her daughter has now traveled to Las Vegas herself, desperate to find answers. And Alisa's longtime friend, Roger John, has also been helping distribute missing person flyers. He is not considered a suspect. But there's another detail investigators are dealing with. Those strange messages. The family received messages from Alisa's phone asking for money and eventually Bitcoin. The requests were strange enough to immediately raise suspicion, especially because Alisa doesn't drive, yet one message reportedly asked for gas money. But investigators have not established that those messages came from Alisa, or that they are connected to whatever happened to her. And that distinction matters. Because right now, the messages are a clue, but they are not the answer. What happened after Alisa walked out of that apartment on August 8? Did she ever reach the CVS? Where did she go after leaving? And most importantly, who, if anyone, knows where Alisa is today? Her family is still waiting. Police are still investigating. And after nearly 2 weeks without an answer, one question has become impossible to ignore: where is Alisa Goods? If you were in the area around Maryland Parkway, Tropicana Avenue, Paradise Road or the nearby CVS around August 8, even something that seemed insignificant could matter. A person. A vehicle. A conversation. Or even a piece of CCTV or dashcam footage. Sometimes the smallest detail becomes the clue that finally breaks a missing person case. Alisa's family isn't asking for theories. They're asking for her to come home. And until that happens, the mystery of Alisa Goods remains unsolved.